Hello, everybody. It's Flesson19, and welcome to the patch notes for 1.7.2. I went through this a little bit differently. I did get through some stuff so we can kind of get through this a bit quicker because patch notes have been taking like a half an hour to get through. So I did skim through those so we could get through some things faster and get to the more important parts. There is quite a bit to cover in this. One of the most notable will be crash fixes. Those are all the crash fixes. That is an absolute monstrous amount of them. Next, we have performance increases, which is really good because ranged weapons by the AI has been optimized, and there is a ton of memory, performance. So it is fixed a memory leak that occurred during field battles, which I think I had mentioned a couple times. So it'll be really interesting to see how that has exactly been fixed. They added some art, but they added some, looks like, pieces of armor. 5 new capes, 4 more body armor. So that's going to be pretty cool to see what those look like. A ton of stuff for the UI. You can now sort through menu quests. The maximum log has been changed from 100 to 250. The traits that you gain during character creation will be shown during character creation. So there's a lot of UI changes going on. Once again, and a ton of fixes to go across it as well. So a lot of crashes and a lot of fixes. Now we come to the section where I really wanted to go through it because now we're starting to get into the nitty gritty. For battles and sieges, added an option under the gameplay tab that allows you to determine the order in which troops should spawn. Default troops spawn according to their position in the roster. High, higher level troops spawn first. Low, lower level troops spawn first. Or high and level will spawn in equal ratios. I personally love that, as I normally want my higher level troops to go first. Fixed a bug that caused perk effects to accelerate projectiles in combat, caused incorrect AI ballistic computations. The physics of underdeployed ranged siege weapons to be active in siege missions. The battle encounter menu to open when talking to a besieging neutral or allied party, army leader. Caused armies to siege a settlement even while having low cohesion. Caused the order of battle screen to open when the player had less than 20 troops and was engaging 2 parties at once. Prevented missions from ending when the active troop count was low, close to the mission troop limit. The player character to move and break out of formation during a order of battle phase. Agents to take damage while falling off walls during order of battle phase siege missions. Enemy AI to fight less effectively in certain cavalry situations by not charging. Agents to get stuck on one another when using siege ladders with a gradual incline. Now non-hostile settlements to continue to be besieged after leaving a kingdom. Mission agents to be invulnerable if a previous battle was exited before closing the order of battle screen. So quite a bit to sieges. Character development. Siege engine kills now award engineering EXP instead of athletics and throwing. Total skill gain from trade profit will now be logged once instead of once per transaction. Fix a bug that caused preventative medicine perk to work even when the player left an encounter without starting a battle. Caused the parade perk to give a loyalty bonus to all settlements. I knew that was coming. Kuzite culture bonus. Recruiting and upgrading mounted troops is 10% cheaper, not to apply to horse archers. So they're only going to apply to cavalry, not horse archers anymore. Asteroid culture bonus, 10% less trade penalty to only apply to trade goods. Oh, it's pretty worthless as it is. Oh, Botanian culture bonus, 10% slower build rate for town projects and settlements, not to be calculated correctly when the town had low loyalty. I thought they were going to go ahead and go after them for their speed bonus. Clan and party, improved and fixes to the campaign map. Increase the weight of party priorities, defensive, neutral, aggressive. Parties that have a defensive priority will try now to defend the settlement from raids, sieges, and territories. They will not besiege raider armies. Parties that have aggressive priority will now try to raid and siege more often. They will not join defending patrolling armies. Parties are now more likely to raid, siege settlements that are near to their territory. This was achieved by tweaking the distance score weight of the target settlement when deciding where to siege. Improve the campaign map AI to prevent party zigzagging behavior, being stuck between two objectives. Yeah, I call it rubber banding when they go back and forth, back and forth. Parties that are trying to defend their settlements against besiegers will have a short-term escort behavior to a nearby stronger ally party that has the same defensive behavior. This will make them engage the besiegers together instead of being stuck in a zigzag behavior. Added a threshold for changing the AI party objectives. Parties will change their objectives less often if their current objective is logical. Rework the calculation for the location of parties on the campaign map. Fix various bugs that were previously occurred. For example, parties from the other side of the world would join your battle, or the same party could join an existing one twice. Fix the bug that caused some parties to get stuck on a bridge building on the campaign map. Implemented a new companion spawn behavior that will try to equalize the available companions in the game. This fixes a bug that caused companions to be hard to find during late game. In-game time has to pass to equalize companions in older saves. So I guess what they're going to do is they're going to try to make sure that if you get a bunch of higher levels or a certain type, then others will have a better chance of spawning. It is no longer possible to convert a companion to a noble if the companion is leading a caravan. Armies. Improved AI food management, finally after 6 months. Armies will now take villages into account when thinking of buying food if they are starving. Army members will take other army members into account while buying food from settlements. They will not buy all the available food in the settlement if there are other starving parties in the army. Normally what would happen is the one party would try to buy all of it and everybody else would be starving. Parties will give more priority to their food stocks if they have wounded troops. Parties will now, on average, starve less the amount of time. Fixed a bug that caused faction nobles to create armies during times of peace. Kingdom and diplomacy. It is no longer possible to grant a fief that has an ongoing ownership vote. Economy and trade. Elite caravans are now created from culture-based troop templates, previously out of random good troops. The elite troop template that is used when creating an elite caravan correspond to the player's starting culture. Depending on the notable power, the AI can now also create elite caravans, which likewise use elite party templates that correspond to their culture. It says elite troops, so I'm not sure what they mean by the word quote unquote elite. Fixed a bug that caused caravans to give incorrect trade rumors. Crafting updated the crafting materials cost of some pieces. Settlement action. It is now possible to ask tavern keepers about available companion candidates. Bandit bosses and hideouts now start the fight with their weapon drawn. Be ready for it. Bug that caused the settlement tooltip to show the garrison as starving even though there was food in the settlement. Caused the settlement tooltip to show two different values for governor selection. Prevented the starvation effect from showing in the tooltip. And that caused the heroes to stay in the keep after the town is taken by the kingdom. Quest. Fix Family Feud, Imperial troops for the headman. Troops to be rescued as prisoners instead of the headman's troops. Conversation with Red goes at the end of the last tutorial quest from opening. Conversation prisoner. You can now interact with prisoners. You can now try to coax prisoners into defecting. It is now possible to ask to talk to prisoners of other parties. Fixes and improvements to dungeon guard dialogues. Fixed a bug that caused battle encounter menus to open when talking to a prisoner and a fellow army party. Some conversation options will now refresh after closing the party screen to comply with recent party and troop changes. caused the bodies of expelled clan notables and soldiers to become invisible during conversation, prevented marriage through clan leaders after unsuccessful barters. Bug that caused some dialogue options not to appear. Then we have some other equipment and troop changes. So it looks like they're going to change. Hopefully, they went through and changed the troops and the equipment of some factions. Updated game concepts in the encyclopedia, added a field of view adjustment, equipment flag system for all characters in order to prevent equipment malfunctions, changed the banner colors of various bandits, remove some console commands. There is now multiplayer, which I do not go through as I am not a multiplayer person. Updated the UI icon, Korean and Japanese, timeout resolution, more performance, few more animations, combat, and modding. I was looking at it really quick because I am now into modding. I'm not seeing anything super important. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So, all in all, it's a lot of stuff. You have a lot of UI changes that I haven't run through. A skip all rounds button for the tournaments, recruit all prisoners or recruit all button, clear selections, hero tooltips were missing, custom battle army size is now starts at 20% of the battle size by default, a ton of more fixes, battles and sieges, character development. So there is a lot going on with the clans. It'll be very interesting to get into the game, which I am going to get set up here in the next couple hours. So if you want to know what's going on with the game and you do not want to watch my live stream, when I get done live streaming, I will put together about a 5-minute video. It'll be called my first impressions video. That'll be the first half of my test today. Tomorrow I will finish off with the kingdom and all the own being a vassal and being in a kingdom, and it will be called final impressions. So if you want to know everything that's going on with Bannerlords 1.7.2, you want to know about bugs, crashes, new stuff into the game, how the performance is, and you want to catch it up in just 5 minutes, check out my first impressions later on today, and check out the final impressions video later tomorrow. They're only about 5 or so minutes long, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. So I hope to see you all at the live stream here coming up within about an hour. As always, my friends, take care, and thanks for watching.